Sciatica is a condition that is often overdiagnosed, and that is why in today's video I'm going to show you a few physical assessment techniques that we use as clinicians that you can try at home to find out if you have sciatica or not. And I'll tell you exactly what you need to do next depending on the symptoms that you have. Hey there, it's Luke from Genuine Physio, where we bring you honest, evidence-based information and education to get you guys back on the road to recovery. If you're new to the channel, then click that subscribe button, and if you do enjoy what you see, then please do give us a thumbs up. It really helps. You'll find some useful links in the description below, and come and say hi on all of the main social media platforms. And with all of that out of the way, let's get going. So what are your symptoms likely to look like if you do have sciatica? Now, true sciatica refers to one of the nerves in your lumbar spine being either irritated, inflamed, or compressed. And this normally happens because of a lumbar disc herniation. Symptoms are often characterized by pain, which we'll touch on in a bit more detail later in the video. But in terms of the location of the pain, it can be in the lower back. It may also be in the buttock or hip area. And then it tends to travel down the leg in a very specific linear pathway. People will describe it as electric, sharp, shooting or burning type pain. And you may even notice changes in the sensation that may feel like pins and needles or numbness. Very rarely you might notice that the power in your legs or one of your feet has been affected. And this is a sign that one of the nerves has been compressed enough to affect its ability to produce power to the muscle that it normally makes work. And if this is the case, what you need to do is go and see your doctor as soon as possible, because this needs to be monitored very specifically by a healthcare professional. Now, if you are at home and you would like to find out if you do have sciatica, there are a few physical tests that we use as clinicians to try and diagnose whether you have sciatica or not. And they're normally used to test the sensitivity of the nerve, but also there's a few other tests that we can do to test the power in your legs and your feet to make sure that everything is working properly. The first test is called a straight leg raise, and it's a neurodynamic test. So it's used to test the sensitivity of the affected nerve. Now, you will need somebody to help you with this because they will need to lift your leg off the bed. In this test, you will lie on your back and the person helping you will lift your leg straight off the bed. Now, a positive test is a reproduction of the symptoms that you normally experience. They should get worse as the ankle is flexed and your toes are brought towards you, and the pain should alleviate as your toes are pointed away from you. And the same can be said when you move the head. Your symptoms should get worse when you lift your head off the bed and bring your chin to your chest, and they should be alleviated when you relax your head back down. What you may find if the nerve is very sensitized is as you lift the leg off the bed, you won't have to lift it off very far at all before you get a reproduction of your symptoms. An important point to note is you do need to make sure it is an accurate representation of the normal symptoms that you experience rather than just some tightness in your hamstrings. The second test, again, is a neurodynamic test, and this is called a slump test. What you need to do here is sit on the edge of a bed or chair. Firstly, sit up straight, and then you want to slump through the middle and the lower part of your back. Put your arms behind your back and put your chin on your chest. What you then need to do is slowly extend the knee. Now, if the nerve is sensitized, even this could bring on a reproduction of your symptoms. However, if it doesn't, what you then need to do is bring your toes towards you. A positive test, again, would bring on a reproduction of your symptoms, and your symptoms should be alleviated if you point your toes away from you or if you look up to the sky. Again, you do need to make sure that it is a true representation of your symptoms and not just hamstring tightness. So what you might want to do is try on the unaffected side as well, so you have a comparison. And here are a few tests to assess the power and strength in your lower limbs. The first one I want you to do is walk a few meters a few times on your toes, and this will test the strength in your calf. So this will tell us if your S1 nerve root is nice and healthy. If it is irritated, inflamed, or compressed slightly, you may find this difficult initially, or you may find that the affected side fatigues quicker than the unaffected side. Now what I'd like you to do is try and walk on your heels. This will give us an indication if the L4 nerve root is healthy. Again, any issues initiating this, or if the affected side fatigues quicker than the unaffected side, could indicate an issue with that nerve root. The most common nerves to be affected by a lumbar disc herniation are L4, L5 and S1. However, it is probably a good idea to test the ones slightly higher up as well, and we can do this with a single leg sit to stand. So what I'd like you to do here is bring yourself forwards on the chair slightly, have your arms out in front to counterbalance, one leg out in front, and then you do 5 to 10 single leg sit to stands on one side, and then you'll try the other side. Compare the two and see if there is any difference at all. This test does require quite a good level of functional strength in both legs to begin with, so if you can't do it, then don't worry, just concentrate on the ones that we've already spoken about. Just to recap, the first thing you need to do if you think you have sciatica, or any back pain for that matter, is rule out anything serious or sinister by going through the red flag symptoms. Once you've done that, there are a number of tests you can do at home, including the straight leg raise and the slump test. If you do want to check the power in your legs, then there are a few tests you can do for that as well. There is a chance that if you just have the typical sciatic leg pain in the absence of changes to the sensation and power in your legs, that you could manage things at home by yourself with some medication and conservative treatment. However, I would advise you to go and see your doctor if you feel like your pain is significant and you need some adequate pain relief. I would definitely advise you to go to your doctor if you have any changes to the sensation in one leg, and I would strongly advise you to go and see your doctor if you do notice any changes to the power in one of your legs. As always, thank you very much for watching the video. I do hope you found it useful. If you have, then please give us a thumbs up, it really does help, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't been here before so you don't miss any of our content. Take a look in the description below, there should be some useful information if you want to know any more about today's topic, and come and say hi on all of the main social media platforms. But before you go, I'd love to hear from you, so drop me a comment if you've used any of today's tests to diagnose your sciatica. And until next time, I'll see you again very soon.